Lachlan Caunt, thank you for joining the pod, my guy. How are you?
Hey, Vinny, Code, how you going? Thanks for having me on.
Lachlan, this season, how did things pan out for you guys? Obviously, travelled a fair bit up to Toowoomba and a couple of different tracks other than Sydney, but spent most of your time in Sydney. Yeah, just your recap on the year.
Yeah, it was definitely a hard year. Had a lot of ups and downs. Won a race, or won two races. So, bit of a breakout season, I guess, in that regard. But, had a fair few mechanicals as well. So there's definitely a lot we can improve on next year, if that makes sense. Um, but yeah, I'm happy with the year. We had a good time, and all in all, I think we learned a lot, and I definitely gained a lot of confidence as a driver. Locally anyway, I know, I went down to Warrnambool and just got absolutely slapped. But yeah, everyone came to town in that period there, and apart from Cole, no one really stuck it to us. I think in Sydney, we held our own, and yeah, it gave me confidence that I'd probably go other places and have good pace.
Does it feel like Sydney has become something like Parramatta, where it was like, what they used to call it, Parramatta Posse or whatever? It was like, it was hard to come to Parramatta and just beat the local guys week in, week out.
I don't know if we got that level yet, but definitely, everyone's definitely getting better and better in Sydney, and I would say that that's not the direction it's going. It seems like people in Sydney that their stuff's going to be real good when people come to Sydney. They're going to be hard to beat. So yeah, I think anytime you go to someone's local track, there's going to be the locals that run real good there, no matter where you go.
Um, Obviously now into sort of the off-season break. Believe you were doing a little bit of racing down at Lake Liddell. Is that correct?
Yeah, so Scott Leonard got in touch with him, and he had a micro, beautiful car, and I, love racing micros, but I kind of wanted to focus on the sprint car and not have the micro take anything away from that. So I got out of micros a few years ago, and he had a car there, and he was gracious enough to let me run it in the off season. So I'll do some stuff at Lake Liddell. I'm not much of a non-wing driver, but hell, I'll have a crack. And then Maruya have just built a little track down there as well. So yeah, it would be something cool to do in the off season and try and keep my eye in. I would love to do iRacing more, but I just struggle to find the time to do it. But I'll make time for that because that's a pretty good opportunity.
Yeah, 100%.
Liddell,
Um,
have you raced? Wait, Benny, has you raced anything there? Have you even been there ever?
Have I been there?
Yeah, like ever. Been to Liddell?
Oh yeah, no, I've won heaps of races there.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Sorry. Whoa, Code. I'm kind of a big deal around Liddell.
No, I'm definitely not a big deal.
No,
Everyone,
no.
when that first opened, it was like the only small track, and I just come off racing in America for 6 months, and all their tracks are little. So I went there, and
Yeah.
I was kind of ready for it, and everyone else kind of started from scratch on little tracks. So I definitely had a huge advantage. Yeah, coming off that US swing. So everyone's going to be a lot better now. They've been running there for a few years, and I'm definitely not expecting to go there and dominate. That's for sure. I just hope I'm competitive. And I was never really a non-wing driver ever. I never really did non-wing, so um, backpedaling pretty hard now,
Yeah, guys, don't expect me to be any good, but I'm trying to go
huh?
good. Well,
Yeah.
you just said something really cool there. America. How many years have you been? What were you racing over there? And just dive into that, man. That sounds awesome.
I only went and ran one season of micros over there. It was during COVID. Um, I was lucky enough to get out of here. I wasn't really doing anything with my life anyway, so I went over there and a good friend of mine, Jake Agopian, he owns Driven Performance, which is a manufacturer of micro sprints. And I told him that I was thinking of coming out for a couple of weeks, and I'll find somewhere to live, and I'll stay out of your way. I just need to get my feet. I stayed on his couch for like 6 months, on a blow up mattress actually, not the couch.
So good.
And yeah, it was like the longest 2 weeks of his life. But they were great to me. They took me in, and yeah, it was heaps of good people. The Aberdeensians gave me a vehicle to drive around in. They took care of me too. Um, I just had a blast. Like the micro scene in California is just so competitive, and it races just like how sprint cars race here. Like they run on the fence, they're diamonding, sliding each other. It really, I think it developed me as a lot as a driver. When I went over there, I was pretty bad, and when I come back, I was a little bit less bad.
A little bit less bad.
Just a
That's
little bit
bit
less
rough.
bad.
That's pretty rough, but I love the honesty. There, look, I slept on a couch, drove a bit. I was all right. It was good.
It was really fun though. I had a great time. Yeah, it was cool. Went to Tulsa, went to Chili Bowl. I was meant to actually race Tulsa, but I was decided that I ran wing because I didn't have enough help to run wing and non-wing over there. So I just ran wing micros, and then the Tulsa shootout was coming up, and I was like, I'm not going to go all the way to Tulsa and just watch non-wing, like, because there's a lot of time between races. So I thought, I'll do non-wing as well. Why not? And so it was a practice session in Plaza Park in California, and I was like, all right, I'll take the wings off, and I'll have a crack and see how we do this non-wing stuff. And I went out to practice, and Jade Avedisian was on the track as well, and I was like, yeah, I'll just try and pace her. She's pretty good. And just drove the car way too straight into the corner, hit a hole, and ended up flipping into the fence and broke my back. It was I broke my back once before, so I knew like when I hit the fence that I was hurt. Ended up letting my travel insurance lapse by like 3 days. So I looked into that, and I was just in the trailer in a lot of pain, laying down. I went to the hospital. I asked them if they could tell me how much it was going to cost. I don't know if you've heard like the nightmares of how much it cost in America to go to a hospital. Like over here, people are just lined up in the lobby, but over there, it's a bit different. When you go to the hospital, you're going to be getting a 20, 30, 40, $50,000 bill.
Yeah.
I went to the hospital, and I was like, oh, can you tell me what it's going to cost to get an x-ray? And no one could tell me what it was going to cost to get an x-ray. I knew I was hurt.
Because they know it's going to be more than what you want, so they just try and get you to get it done more than they'll tell you what it is?
I don't know what it is, but like no one could give me a price. I mean, I'm sure if you went to a hospital here in Australia and you asked someone how much it's going to cost, they wouldn't know. So I ended up walking out of the emergency room because I had no idea how much it was going to cost. And I ended up finding a chiropractor who had an x-ray machine, and he gave me an x-ray for $70. And he had a look at it, and he was like, yeah, look, it looks like you've got 3 vertebrae that are crushed, but they look pretty stable, so you should be all right. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, that gives me a whole bunch of confidence. So I ended up staying there for the Tulsa shootout. I just tried to be careful. And I just watched it, and then I watched the Chili Bowl, and then come home. Went to my doctor at home, and he was just like disgusted with what I'd done.
Purely of like, because you could have paralyzed yourself. Like,
I don't think it was that deep.
But was it on those lines of like,
Nah.
How were you walking? What pain were you?
No. So like it just sounds tough, but like breaking your back, it's not necessarily like, I'm sure like breaking your back's a serious thing, but if you crush some vertebrae, like it's not that bad, I don't think. Well, in my experience anyway.
It's crazy how you're like, look, it's okay. I travelled 14 hours plus Tulsa, I broke a back. Like, it's not that bad, but it was fine. Pretty gnarly.
No, it was alright. Yeah, I come back.
Plane ride home, like.
Yeah.
It was fine. Honestly, by then it'd been like a month. I was fine. Like, it was still like I was still stiff. I was still sore. I was on pain. Like some people gave me painkillers, like some strong ones, Percocet. I was on like a bit of a had a wild couple of weeks there where I was in a lot of pain and I was questioning my decisions. But yeah, after like 2 weeks, I was fine. I was just real stiff.
So, but from breaking a back previously, was it similar breaks and it's sort of a bit comforting going, okay, now to handle it?
No, because I didn't really know if it was the same or not. It was. It turns out it was the same. It was different vertebrae, but I broke my back on a motocross bike before, and I went like real long on a jump, and that's where I crushed those vertebrae. But this one, it felt pretty similar, but you just don't know. Like you just, but I don't know. I was for some reason I just was freaking out a lot at the start, and then I just was over there anyway, and. I didn't have any pins or needles or nothing was going numb, so I kind of just said it'll be okay, and it was. It was fun.
I mean, I've got a sore back now, but I'm not going to complain about shit or ever say it again. Like, far out. Jesus.
And to be honest, touch wood, like I've always thought that I would wake up in the morning and be sore, and you hear people that complain, but honestly, I've been pretty lucky that I get up every day and I don't have any pain. It's quite good.
Is that another thing when you've previously broke your back and as soon as you've had a wreck this year, is that your first sore when you're sitting there? Am I sore? Or no, you just
not at all.
Grumpy because you junked it.
No, to be honest, I've not crashed a race car besides that day, and it like hurt. Yeah, like when I race bikes, I would crash, and man, I just. Like the first minute, you just got to try and breathe because you're winded, and you're just like, yeah. And like every time, and then once you can breathe, stuff starts hurting, and what's hurt. If it's have I blown my knee out or yeah. Like dirt bikes suck. I remember the first time I was racing in Parramatta. That's when I first started racing sprint cars, like the last season there. And my dad kept saying, "No, don't run the top, don't run the top." And I was like, "Come on, man! All the fast guys run the top." And it was this gnarly cushion, and I got up above it, and it was pretty big. I couldn't believe how big this crash was, and I was just fine. I was just I was so shocked, but how I was just unscathed. And in the micro though, non-wing, that rung my bell. That was huge, and that was like that definitely made me think about it. So I'm actually a bit nervous every time I run non-wing now. But I'm just so surprised how safe sprint cars are, and I feel like you don't get hurt unless you like get hurt. So yeah, it's bit interesting how the sport works. The only thing is when you crash a dirt bike, you might be out off work for 6 weeks. When you crash a race car, you spend so much money fixing it. Like there's just the two, it's one thing's got to give. So
it's normally
I guess it's the money factor.
The bike's okay, but I'm screwed. But in a race car, it's the car's totaled, but I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly right. Yep. You've just got like a big week ahead or a big 2 weeks to get the car turned around, and then you got to pay for it. So.
And you touched on racing at Parramatta then. What was that like? Obviously, you raced a few years there before it sort of closed down. It was very different to what we've got now. What was that like?
Yeah, I didn't really race there enough to... Like, I never ran there any good. Like, I don't even think I've made a show. Like, I was still learning how to drive a race car. And, I didn't really get to run it enough to miss it, if that makes sense. Like, the car was driving me. I was not driving it. It went where it wanted to go. And I was just there. But, yeah, like... Eastern Creek's kind of all I really know, so like I love it. It's just I love sprint car racing, and that's where I've learned to do it. So for me, that's home, I guess. I don't have this old track to sit on the hill and go, "Oh, how good was that?" Because I didn't really have any great memories there racing. I had a few good nights in the micro there, but to be honest, racing a micro around Parramatta was like racing Daytona Super Speedway.
It's so big.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, you had to almost need to draft people, but not quite. But yeah, it's just I don't have those memories. People loved it, and 100%. It obviously put on good racing. The cushion was huge, but yeah, I never got to really run there and do a good job of it. So I don't not miss it, but I don't, die hard miss it. I'm not in the comments on Facebook.
Bring back PCR. Yeah, I'm okay with Instagram. It's good.
Yeah, well, Benny's obviously a tragic. A second ago, he's like, "Oh, Parramatta used to get the best photos on the wall."
A good photo.
Yeah, that photo behind you is a pretty good photo. Relax. With running at Sydney National, Eastern Creek, what do you think this year? You have. I would say it's probably one of your best seasons. You're very fast. Like you're a top 5 car nearly every time at Sydney International. What do you think in yourself, but also maybe the team that has really grown this season?
Yeah, no. So previous years, I've set the car up and raced the car. Sometimes my brother would come help, but it was mainly me doing it. It's hard to set up a car and drive a car because you can't preempt the changes you make. So this year, Bruce Linigan come on board as crew chief for the car, which just gave me a lot of confidence to just go drive the thing, not have to think about things, just jump in and drive and come in and complain. So, no, he's been great. The car's been so good. And then over that Christmas period, I had Paul Baines come out too. So those two working together, yeah, it was great, man. I think that's probably been the biggest differentiation, the biggest difference this year in our team for sure. First time I had a crew chief, so yeah, that would be the biggest change. I think it'd be crazy to think that's not what the difference has been.
Yeah. And trusting someone, is that different now? You're the one sitting in that thing, and if it isn't right, like you said, you sort of get out and be like, what's going on? But then you've got to also be like, no, he's doing it. I just got to drive the bloody thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like a few nights there. I think one night at Canberra, when he first started, I was just for whatever he wanted to do, and then that was working pretty good. And I thought, maybe I'll try and get in and have an opinion here. And one night at Canberra, we went out and we just sucked, and I was like, what did you change? And he's like, I did this. And I'm like, well, I don't think that's what you should have done. I think you should have done this. And then we did that, what I wanted to do, and then we were still terrible. And then I come in and was just like, you know what? I don't even care. Put whatever you want in it. I'm over this. And we went out for the feature and we were awesome. And I was just like, sorry, man. I'll just stay in my lane.
You know it. Sometimes that might have been a really good learning night for you two. To be like, we can butt heads but still have a good night. It doesn't always have to be sunshine and roses in the pits to get a race car going.
Oh, I don't think any team is like sunshine and roses 100% of the time. It's, who spends that kind of money and dedicates that kind of time unless you're an extremely competitive person. So we all just want to win. Bruce is the same. He just loves racing. And when you're competitive and you think someone might not be doing the right thing, you're not going to shy away from telling them.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed. What about, you just touched on motorbikes. Where did the motorbike racing, was that your first sort of entry into racing as a kid, or what was that journey like?
No, it was super weird growing up. My dad always ran micros and then he ran sprint cars, and that kind of started me in go-karts when I was young, and I just didn't want a bar of it. I raced karts at Nepean and Gosford, and I just never really wanted to do it at all. I wasn't very good. I don't know if that's because I didn't want to be there, but yeah, I didn't really like Speedway, to be honest, that much. I just didn't want to be there. I remember going to World Series and playing down behind the grandstands at Avalon, just messing around. And after the race, I'd be like, "Oh, how'd you go, Dad? I didn't watch anything." Yeah. We were just messing around. And then, when I was finally old, I wanted to do bikes for ages. I always had a little pit bike at home, just a little farm bike, and I would cruise around and just ride circles for hours and hours, the most boring tracks, grass tracks. And I really enjoyed it. So then when I was 16, my parents finally let me get a full-size motocross bike, and I started racing. And I wasn't that very good. Yeah, I wasn't good at all. I just ran like C grade at all the local tracks, and but I had a good time. I had a great time. But yeah, I kept getting hurt every year. I'd do something. I'd start getting good, and then I'd just get hurt. So not like good. I was never like a national rider or anything like that. But I was a motorcycle mechanic at the time. Like I was full committed to motorbikes. So I did my motorcycle apprenticeship, got my trade, and then at the end of that, I got hurt one year actually. At the end of the year, and I had a broken ankle, and my dad was like, "Oh, I'm running the micro this weekend at Goulburn. Your brother's gonna run one," and then another family friend of ours had a car, and he's like, "Do you just want to have a go? Like, you can't ride your bike. Do you want to have a go?" And I was like, "Yeah, like that'd be cool." And then I did it, and I was like, "Oh, this is actually kind of fun." And then there was another race, and then 2 races turned into 5 races, and then all of a sudden there was another car there, and the next year I raced for the season. I was like, yeah, I'm going to race micros this year, and I think I won the state title, won some races, and just I don't know, something happened, and I just changed, and all of a sudden I loved it. And then I was like, well, obviously I want to race a sprint car. He was actually selling everything. The truck was for sale.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, well, it was all sitting there, and I was like, I should just try it. It's all here. I should just give it a good crack, because once it's gone, I'm not going to be able to say, hey, do you think you might buy another sprint car team? No, that probably wouldn't have happened. So, yeah, it was all sitting there, and I said I wanted to do it. And I think he thought I didn't actually really want to do it. It was a good idea in the time, because he really made me work for it to want to do it. Like, we started racing, and then I think we had an engine problem like the 3rd or 4th race in, and he was like, "Oh well, like the motor's done. You're done for the year." And so I went back to racing the micro. He wouldn't come to any of the races. And then I think I bought a go-kart. I was like, I'm gonna show you that like I really want to race speedway. And I bought a go-kart, and I went to Nepean, and like I just wanted to do anything I could to kind of better myself in racing. And I was racing the simulator. I was just trying to do everything to show that I like wanted to do it. And then I got to race the next year after that, and then the track closed down. And then COVID happened. And then I went to America. And then I come back, and he was like, yeah, screw it, like we'll do it. And after that we just did a little bit at Sydney. We did everything at Sydney that year, and I just started really developing and getting better and better. And I think when he first found out he got sick, that's when he stopped like making it hard. He never made it hard for me to race, but he would make it like I would have to go and get all these sponsors, and I had to do a budget every year, and every dollar we were spending had to be on a spreadsheet, and I had to really make sure everything was ran like a business, if that kind of makes sense. A business that didn't make any money, but I had to kind of keep tabs and everything, and try not to go over budget. Talk to sponsors, propose things, and just try that way. And then when he got sick, he was just like, yeah, like, all right, don't worry about any of that. Let's just go race. And the last 2 years, he kind of just said, let's just go races. Whatever you need to do. I think the year before that, we had some mechanicals. We had engine and dramas. Like, they're great motors. They were fast, but they were just old. We'd get them rebuilt, and things would go wrong. Like, things that don't get replaced on overhauls, like, O-rings in fuel systems, and just dumb stuff kept going wrong. So, last year he was just like, that's it. I'm buying everything brand new. You're going to get new wheels, new this, new that. And, man, I was scared to drive the car because it was so nice. I think we went out for practice at the start of the year, and like it was on the fence. When they first, the management got back out. Yeah, man, it was like on the fence, the highest it had ever been. And I was scared to drive the car because I didn't want to plug it in the fence. Everything was new. Every bead lock was brand new. I was terrified of driving the thing. I was kind of like put me in put me in a bent race car. At least then I'm not scared to wreck it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of, I don't know if you asked about motorbikes, and that's where we got to.
That's fine. That's what happens. It's still a journey. Like you just explained how you got into sprint cars. So let's just go into that. Now you said your dad was really hard on you, not in a bad way, but hard on you, showing you to keep tabs on this and this is how much it costs. But now that you are doing it, you sort of, from that experience, you can be on top of it and work. Even if you bring someone on board, you can teach them how to help you with that system.
I think it's important to know what everything costs and what it takes to get sponsors. And not that I'm probably the best at getting all those things, but I definitely know what's involved. And you got to ask 500 people to get one person to say yes. And then a lot of the times it's not always just an outright sponsorship. A lot of the people in our car they're people that we do business with and within our business, and we're trying to leverage that to, benefit you. Like now, Toyota, they buy all our vehicles from them. So, and there's a lot of people. Shell and Sign, same thing. We get all our cars wrapped from them. So, yeah, it's like just developing relationships with those people, and but they're all good. They get behind it, and but if we didn't do stuff with them, we would never have been introduced, and we would never have developed that relationship, which has turned into that. So, yeah.
Well, that it's a tough question, and to talk about. You said when your dad got sick, and all that. I can relate to you. Last Thursday was 8 years since my dad passed, so it still affects me today. But when you first heard of that, and you said your dad's attitude changed, not be hard on you. What was racing like with your dad in that period? Was it more just spending time together, or not knowing the next years or two?
I don't know. I don't think it really felt real at the start. Like, I don't know. You just think they're gonna live forever. You don't really come to terms with it, I think. And even until probably 3 months before he passed away, I still didn't think he was gonna die. Just like his most hardest, most stubborn person I'd ever met. I was like, there's no way he's gonna let this get him. So I don't know. It was fun. We got to do a bit, and I think when we just found out, we went to Perth, and it was actually terrible. It was the worst trip ever. Had a real bad attitude, but I don't know. I'm glad we did it. Like, yeah, it was great. We got to spend all that time together, and I'm grateful we get to go racing. And a lot of people, not a lot of kids, when they grow up, they turn 15, 16, they hang out with their friends, and hanging out with their parents isn't cool anymore. Which is fair, but when you race cars, like, you get to, like, if you have something like racing or motocross or like a hobby, it's like a kind of a good excuse to get to spend time with your parents. And I think that was really important. So even if it's not about the racing, I guess it's just good to have a hobby that we could do together, and spend all that time together. So I'm super grateful for that. And if I have kids, I'll probably try and get them into something that I can hang out with them even when I'm not cool.
After your dad passed, they had the Sydney put on an awesome show, the Steve Corn Appreciation Night, mate. I mean, it was probably one of the best shows I've seen Sydney show all year. But what was that like being? Normally everyone is watching your race, but that night it's like, all eyes is on the 9 car. The commentators talking about it non-stop, this is talking about it, you got people interviewing you before, after. Like, what was that night like? Was it a bit overwhelming, or it went so fast you didn't really get to feel it, you're just racing a car still?
I think everything was it was a big night, but it was the challenging parts of the night wasn't the racing for me. Like, when I got to get in the car and go race, like, it was just another race to me, to be honest. I didn't really as soon as you go into turn 1, like, I don't know, I don't get more pressure if it's lap 1 of the feature or, the B main or something. It all just feels the same. I just race the same. So the night was like great for my family and me and everyone involved. I think they did a terrific job. They really did. But like racing it, I feel like it didn't really change how I raced. I mean, I only did like a lap and I think something fell off my car. So he would have been like screaming at me if he was there. Just like, who checked that? That's what he said. Who did the bolt check?
Yeah.
Well, anyway. Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, they did a great job. So I'm super appreciative of, the team, the Wilmingtons, who are good friends of my dad, and he supported them. But he really wanted to see the track succeed. He was definitely a big driver in trying to make Sydney a success. When the first lot of management lost it. So, yeah, I mean, he would have been pumped. He would have been pumped to see that night about him. It was good.
Now, Benny and I have talked about this before. Now, there was a night where you won at Sydney, but it was around the last lap, last corner, the Benny Atkinson. What was that like for you? Now, there was all eyes on you and obviously your dad being chief steward that night.
Like, it was horrible.
Yeah, I just...
it was so bad.
You were telling me, I got off socials, it was a lot. Like, just from your side, mate, looking back on it, what was that like? That must have been a bit tough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. My radio wasn't even working, so I was in the car and I was like, oh well, like that sucked. I got done on the last lap, and then I come into the scales and they're saying, oh, like you won, like he got put back. He was on the infield, and I just went like, oh, here we go.
Is it because you knew your dad was?
Oh yeah, 100%. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a problem. And sure enough, it was. Everyone had something to say on that. I mean, look, it is what it is. The video's there. You go look at it, make your own decision. Whatever. I don't know, man. I got the money, so that's pretty cool. Look, yeah, it was. It definitely tainted. Like, I wish that it wasn't like my first win that it happened on, because it definitely tainted it, if that makes sense. So I still need to get that Sydney win. Just outright with no officials involved. So yeah, that kind of sucked, but I mean, I still won it.
Look, I like that you can smile about it now, but Benny and I were in Perth when it happened, right? And we're watching the My Race Pass because.
What do you think?
This is what I'm gonna. We're watching the My Race Pass, and I think like Brazy was leading, then Adard, and then all of a sudden it lost connection, and our heat races hasn't even started yet, right? So we're like, watch, and we're like, hey, call one, and Vinny's like, oh, really? How good's that? And then wait, we go on Facebook. Oh shit, something happened, bro. Then we're trying to find it, and then everyone like on the infield started talking then, because it obviously spread, and they're like, oh, Atkinson was on the infield, and then they're like, nah, he wasn't, it was Dog. Oh yeah, he was. Like, it was literally so 50-50. Everyone's like, look at the white chalk, look at this, look at that, and I'm like, bro, you can see his car jump, so what did he go over? I mean, that's just what I said, but it is like, I went to Benny, I'm like, I think that's his first win. And then Minnie's like, damn, that way. Like, first win and like that way. And then I'm even seeing your dad was put in a position. He put a big post out saying, like, look, he shouldn't have had to, but he felt he had. Like, he just did because that's him.
I just love putting shit on Facebook. Yeah.
I want to talk about something with your dad. And when we'll give him a little line, the Chaz. You spent some time with the Chaz. How was that? And Brucey loves him, doesn't he?
Yeah, it was an interesting few weeks for sure. I didn't live at home. I still don't when he was there.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get to deal with him a whole lot. But he's definitely an interesting character, that's for sure.
Yeah, he doesn't hold back, does he? There you go.
Look.
I mean, you don't have a filter sometimes, but you're doing pretty good now, brother. So.
Yeah, well, look, I think he just knows what to say to upset people, and that's his thing. I don't know.
Yeah, sounds like something Binny would do. Binny just
Yeah.
loves stirring the pot.
Whoa.
Why do you think they call it bin chicken? Hey, what's that for? Bin. Crap. What about that? Huh?
Always talking rubbish, mate.
Goona.
Yeah, always talking rubbish.
Yeah.
I'll admit that.
Traveling, bro. What goes into traveling as a race team? Now, you've had your big trips this year with Toowoomba and Warrnambool.
Yeah.
What are those trips like? Like sometimes you fly because obviously you're working, but getting the car ready and all that stuff.
Yeah, look, getting the car ready is not an issue. But yeah, so we did the classic this year, and we weren't gonna. We were, and then I think I won at Sydney. So my dad was like, "Yep, fine, you can go." I think he said that. He said, "If you win a race, you can go to the classic." And then I won a race, and he was still like, "Oh, I'm not sure." But yeah, no, we went down there, and all the guys that work on our team, they have jobs, and they have somewhere to be on Monday, so it's a bit tricky just going away racing, the traveling time, flying everyone in, working on the car and stuff's no problem because everyone's already down there. Yeah, just having people get time off, especially to drive the truck. My dad didn't really work in the business the last few years, so when we went to Perth, like he just cruised over for a week, like he had nowhere to be. But at the classic this year, my good friend Luca Bussa, he drove the truck down, and like he has a business that he needs to be at, but he was nice enough to take some time off to drive our truck down there. I don't have my truck license yet, but yeah, you gotta have a license for 12 months, a HR or MR before you can get your HC. So I just figured I never needed one, and then all of a sudden my old dad got sick and I needed one. So I just been relying on friends to drive, and to go to Sydney. A favour to drive the truck to Sydney's not a big deal, but to go to Toowoomba, or the classic, actually, I'll talk about that in a sec. But yeah, just getting time off, people need to go to work, so it can be tricky logistically to have them traveling up and down. Go to Toowoomba though this last week, or at the end of the year here, my good friend Matt Croker, who's sponsors me, his Mind Main, he's on the front wing. He was like, "Oh, are you racing at Toowoomba?" Or I don't know, we were talking about Toowoomba, and I was like, "Yeah, like I really want to go. I haven't really raced interstate this year, and I shouldn't have went because I was terrible, but." He was like, "Yeah, like I said, I don't have anyone to drive the truck," and he's like, "Well, like I could probably drive it," and I'm like, "Have you got your truck license?" And he goes, "Not yet." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, I got my HR or my MR, so like I'll go do my test tomorrow." And yeah, the first time I don't know, he's probably driven one before, but the first time he legally had driven a truck was driving our trailer to Toowoomba. So yeah, desperate times call for desperate measures. When you want to go racing, you just got to make it happen, and he made it happen.
Bro, imagine that. Oh, here's just all my gear. First time. It's only 12 hours. Good luck. The whole time you're like, oh my God, will it get here? Is it okay? Is it okay?
Nah, I mean, they have cranes and stuff in their business, so like he knows what stuff costs, and he treat it like his own. They run late models. Yeah, they know what it's all about. So I had faith in him for sure. It was probably not my wisest decision letting like an unexperienced someone drive the truck, but I wanted to race.
I remember you saying, my dad would not allow this.
Yeah,
I wonder what my dad would be thinking now.
He'd have been pissed with the decisions before we got to the track and when we got to the track. He would have not been happy. Yeah, he wasn't always the best at pep talks when things weren't going our way, that's for sure. But yeah, so next year, hopefully, I should have my truck license, and that should take the burden off other people, and maybe we'll do some traveling. I'm not really sure what next year looks like for us. Decaunt Racing said that we can do Sydney, and we haven't really talked about anything else, but you know, I'll just keep pushing. Sponsors, I'll push them too, and we'll see.
Well, I mean, results and for yourself, you know, like you said, you get more confidence you go, but also may opportunities open for other cars and rides. So that gives you a bit more less stress on the travelling. So, you know, jump in someone else's car if that comes up. I'm sure you're going to jump straight at it.
Oh, of course, if anyone said, you know, come drive my sprint car, I would say yes. Like, just like anyone would.
Yeah, before they finish sentence, yes, where, when, how.
Yeah. No, I'd love to do that. I'd love to race everywhere and just, you know, it's 10,000 hours, right? You just keep putting in reps and you get good. These guys in America race so much that they come out here and they dominate. And then our guys go over there and that are dominant over here and they struggle. Yeah, it's laps, man.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know Binny's got a good question because he loves numbers. He's all about numbers. Why they run this number? What's the question there, Binny?
Yeah, what's the significance behind the number 9?
No idea, right?
No way. You can't give Binny that. He's like going to be turning.
No, so there is significance behind it. So my parents had a child. It was their favourite child. It was my sister. And she was born on the 9th of the 9th at like 9 a.m. or something corny like that. So favourite kid. Everything's been number 9 since.
Fair enough.
And you kept it? Was there when you took over the car, was there a chance?
Hey, I tried. Like when I raced motorbikes, I was number 11, and when I started racing cars, I was like, well, you know, number 9's kind of, you know, that's you. Like I want to be number 11. He's like, no, like I own the car, so like, if I want it to be 9, it'll be 9. And now I've kind of just embraced it.
It's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I had to start like a business name the other day for a personal thing, and I was just like made it LC9, and I was like, oh wow, I've really taken this on now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now 9's mine, I guess.
Now I
actually forgot the significance until you brought it up. I might have made it something different now.
2025-26. What is it? SCR11 is now here.
Yeah.
What happened there? Oh, Dad always wanted it.
It was always taken. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. True.
Yeah.
You talked about your sister there. Now, your brother in racing. He raced a sprint car at Parramatta a bit. Now, that last season you raced, you sort of raced together. There was a 2-car team?
No, so I never raced with him.
Yeah,
so
he raced with your dad.
Yeah, so my dad was racing. Then my brother raced wingless. He was getting pretty good in wingless, and then I think he junked a car, and they were like, rather than building a wingless, let's just put you in a sprint car. So they were racing sprint cars together for a while, and then I don't know what happened. They just kind of stopped having fun. I don't know, but he started working a lot, getting into like the business, and it's a lot of work when you're trying to, you know, run a company and race a sprint car as well, if you're doing all the work yourself. So something's got to give, and I guess he just fell out of love with it a bit, and he kind of gave up with it. When I first started racing, though, he was coming to the track with me, and he helped definitely guide me at the start. He was like, you're just not driving it hard enough, and he'd have reverse split in it, and when it was good, but when it was bad, it was bad. But yeah, he definitely come to the track, and we had some fun early on in the piece. But you know, he's got kids now, and he's got another company that he runs, and he just doesn't have time for it.
It gets that
priorities are all messed up.
Oh, stop it! Good Uncle Lachlan over here. Priorities. Come on, shoo. Give me back my brother. Can't be like that, bro. Come on.
But no, he comes every now and then. Yeah, he just comes in and watches and, you know, makes fun of me now.
Lachlan keeps slowly moving this way. I have to get there. He is. Even on the other one, he's like over here, and I'm like, I'm not touching it now, but there you go. Favorite track? I know you're going to say Eastern Creek. probably.
Yeah, everyone's going to hate it. But yeah, Eastern Creek, honestly, I love it, man. It's all I know. It's the only place I go fast at. Yeah, Eastern Creek,
Only
man.
place I
It's cool.
go fast.
Yeah, everywhere else I suck, but Eastern Creek's good. I was racing micros in America. There's a place called Delta, which is like this miniature micro track. That was pretty cool. I'd probably say that might be my favorite. I don't know.
Delta. Did you ever get to race at that Millbridge track?
No, so that's on the East Coast, but I was based on the West Coast. So
you were hitting it up with Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah, I was living in Cali. Yeah,
California.
yeah, I was in Fresno, which is like the fentanyl capital of America.
That's how he got through his broken back. There you go.
Yeah, I said they gave me some strong stuff, man. Didn't ask questions.
I spent
was in
some
a lot of
nights
pain.
on the streets, and yeah, it was good. Slept at the lounge, yeah, wherever I needed to.
I was out in the country there, so I was a little bit out of town. Yeah, America's definitely gross. Like everything's just like amplified. Like the rich people are just way richer, and the poor people are just way poorer. Everyone in Australia is just like middle class. Like everyone's the same.
But
Everyone
yes,
lives in. Yeah, trust me. Compared to there, like it is just so amplified. The gaps in like their society, I think.
Well,
but, yeah, over here
relate to that. When I was in LA, like Venice and that, for only 10 hours because I was waiting for a flight. So we went and did the old Grand Theft Auto walk around, go to Venice Beach. How good is this? And walking down Venice Beach, I was so scared for my life. One lady had a bike chain strapped to her and offered if she could something for $10, and I said, no, you are not coming near me. And then 5 meters down the line, another dude said, yo man, buy my CD. And I'm like, I don't want your CD. And I gave him $5 because I was so scared. And he was putting it in my face, and it was my last $5 too. I was like, yeah man. And then my brother was like, what about if it's empty? We got home, yeah, there was nothing on the CD. Like it was blank CD. I paid $5 for. And then we walked to get In-N-Out Burger because we're like, we just need to get In-N-Out. And the rule was, in America, if they asked you for upsize, you had to say yes. Everywhere we went. So we go, yeah, can I have this burger, like a big one? They're like, do you want to upgrade that to extra large? And we're like, yeah. And do you want cheese and bacon on your fries? Yeah. Like, you just had to say yes to everything. And I remember walking back down the street 10 minutes later, needing the most water in my life. Whatever I just ate made me thirsty, and I was like salivating on the side of the street. And then waiting for the lights, this is where I knew I was just, you know when you go to like America, like Lachlan, and then you're like, for the start it's all cool, but then you have the moment where you're like, I'm so far from home. Like something is so different. I'm standing at the lights, and I smell something. And I'm like, that smells like shit. What is happening? What? Yeah. Like, I mean...
Crazy story to tell on your podcast, bro.
No, we're talking to the stories now. It's fine. I look to my left, and I go, oh my God, that's not happening.
Oh, I thought it was you.
No.
I didn't shit myself. You're like, yeah, like I got the cheese and the bacon, and I had to say yes. And then I was walking back. I shit myself. It was someone else.
No, so what, dude? This guy's there. I go like this. I go, oh my God, to my brother. And I'm like, go up to him and go, Jared. The guy's shitting next to us. And he's like,
I'm the guy.
What are you talking about? And I'm like, he's shitting. The guy's shitting right under the lights. He's shitting. He's got his pants down. He's shitting. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh my God, Jared, what time's our flight? I want to go home. I'm so scared. And my other mate, Aaron, leans over and just out loud, because he has no filter, oh my God, he's chucking his shit.
Just like narrating.
I swear we were like so blown away by what is happening. Like, we're looking around at everyone else to see how they're reacting, and they're just like, this is normal.
It's a Tuesday, bro.
Yeah. I just mean he's full like just going at it, and I'm like,
yeah,
get me home. Oh, anyway, so that's American for you. Don't go to LA and Venice. It's overrated. Like it is so overrated. GTA, it's good because you can drive around, and strip clubs and all that stuff. But in there's scary,
Yeah, man.
Wait,
Whatever you say, bro.
Wait a second. You play games, right? You play some Minecraft.
Nah.
Yeah, you
nah,
do.
Nah,
Yeah, you
nah,
do.
nah.
Yeah, you do.
Nah. I don't really have time for that stuff.
What are you doing, Code? What are you doing, Lachlan? Oh, I'm just Minecrafting. He doesn't have time for the sim, but he can play Minecraft. Is there racing on Minecraft?
Yeah, well, like the sim, you gotta set up the steering wheel, set up the pedals. You gotta go online. You gotta get into a lobby. I hate how long it takes to get into a lobby, and then
does sometimes, yeah.
someone just wears you out on like the first lap, whatever. But when you play Minecraft,
I can build anything.
Have a quick 30-minute session.
I load in.
Yeah.
I can build a house, eat some lava chicken, talk to a
Nah.
What, okay, gaming then. What other games? Is there any other games you play?
Oh,
Or
nah. Oh, I don't really play games. I've just been playing Minecraft, like to numb my brain before I go to bed. It's good it's good to have something like when I work and like I work after work. I have a computer now at home, and for some reason I just like come home and eat dinner, and then I'll just come and do more work, and then I'm in bed and I'm thinking about emailing someone or trying to fix a problem. But if I play Minecraft, like I don't know, bro, just trying to find diamonds.
It's a good
it's
like someone watching
a good thing
Netflix
to like switch
show.
off.
But yeah,
100%. It's just a bit of brain rot to like switch off before you go to bed. You can like watch Netflix and stuff too, but like every time I watch Netflix, it takes like an hour for me to decide what I'm going to watch.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh my god, it's bedtime. I've watched nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally did that at dinner today. I was like, I don't know what to put on, babe. Like, whatever. And she was like, Harry Potter. I went, sure. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good choice.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Especially
That's a very respectable decision.
A son named Harry, and now he wants glasses because his name's Harry. I want glasses, Dad. I want to be Harry Potter. And I'm like, how about no? You look more like Draco than anything, mate. Relax.
Crazy. But yeah, essentially, I just do something to switch off. I play Call of Duty every now. Like I don't really anymore. I used to play Call of Duty a lot. Yeah, that's about it. I don't like do too much of it. Just something to switch off. Right, I'm not any good at. I'm not any good at it. Like it's not like
Can you be good at Minecraft? I don't know.
Yeah, be good at anything.
Oh yeah, he flexing. He was like,
She can be, bro.
All right, now we'll flip that to
anyway, this isn't what people clicked on to watch.
This is what happens. We're people.
If anyone's still listening, yeah, go.
True. Now, you did say you had that trip at Perth. Now, racing a lot at Sydney, is there similarities to Sydney and Perth in any way as a race car driver? Like shape? No, on the fans? I don't know.
Probably now. But when we were running at Sydney, it was when Kelly's and Anderson's had it, so it was pretty heavy, and it never really went away past half track. So it was like it was a big elbows up.
Yep.
You needed to have a super free race car, and like you could always just go above it. Like if it started to slicking off, you'd just go above it because it never blew off more than half track. There was always something to drive off. So then we went to Perth, and it was on the fence. I was terrible. I couldn't keep the car straight. I couldn't believe how slick it was. I watched Jamie Veal do a lap in qualifying on the big screen, and like his car like took it. When you drive a sprint car, sometimes you go up the straight and like you'll get a bunch of left rear drive. It actually happened to me the other day, and I got the fence. But like the car will get like a set left rear set, and it'll kind of push towards the fence, and I just seen him just like on the fence get left rear drive, and he just like drove out of it with his wheel, and the car stayed completely straight. And like I was just like wobbling up and down the straights. I just wanted to quit. But yeah, I was terrible. I'd never raced anything like that before. I think Sydney probably races a little similar now, how it's been. But yeah, at that moment in time, I'd never ever gone so fast and so close to the fence. And it was Cricky Boys in Australian title, so it wasn't the best
It's
toe dipper.
packed. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't make any shows the whole time. There was like 4 shows or 3 shows I was there for, and yeah, I didn't make any shows. I was terrible. I might have, if there was a C main, I wouldn't have got out of it. Yeah, I was real bad.
Nice.
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 But,
Would you go
that's
back
all-
to would you go back to Perth now, having a little bit more experience than?
Oh, 100%. I'll race anywhere. Like if I get the thumbs up, or I like get more sponsors, or I start becoming more successful in my preneurs, then I'll 100% race everywhere I can. Yeah, I love it. Like, I'll race anywhere. I would love to do Darwin. That looks great. Toowoomba, I think the track's great. I just have never ever had any luck there. Um, Even Warrnambool, I think's great. Like, the track's so cool. The way it was, for me in the classic, I had a bent race car, and I was still having an absolute blast down there when it was up around the top. And I love everywhere. Like, there's nowhere I've gone where I've just thought this place sucks. Anytime I can drive a sprint car, I'll drive it a showground if I have to. It's just, it's so much fun.
So, is there a track I know you want to race everywhere, but like you really want to tick off? Is it, like a Darwin or a Tolma or something?
No, I think a Darwin. Yeah, I think Darwin looks pretty cool. Yeah, the way it gets up on the fence and slows right down. Yeah, that's when the track's like that. I love watching. So I'd love to become good in a situation like that. And Sydney like slickens off, but it doesn't seem to slow down. So it would be good to kind of learn to race. Same as Toowoomba as well. It slickens off, but it feels like it doesn't slow down. The lane just moves up, and
it moves up and gets faster sometimes.
Yeah, whereas it feels like that track kind of slows down a bit.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up shortly, but we always ask some questions at the end. What is the race? Doesn't any motorbike, micros, sprint car, what race still burns that got away?
I think you know which one would have got away, almost got away. There was another race this year. I was running third on the last lap. Madsen actually got a flat tire. So I was running third, and I passed Kobe, who was running second, coming up the front straight, and then I slid myself into 1 and 2. Madsen was running the top, just like me, and he broke and started coming down the track as I was sliding up to the bank, and I had to like get on the anchors and then pivot and come back down the track, and then Kobe was running the bottom, and he drove back by me. So, like, that was definitely one that got away. If Madsen didn't break, I wouldn't have won anyway. But, yeah, that was when I was kicking myself. I was like, I shouldn't have slid myself. But how did I know that he was going to break? Like, that's definitely that one got away. Apart from that, I don't know, not really. That was a pretty good one.
That was a good one this year, because I felt like all night you were really good that night. And you were like, oh, we got something for this feature.
Honestly, this year I've felt quite good. Like, there's probably 3 guys that have been a little bit better than me every night, but they seem to not be able to. One of them puts it together, and the other 2 just have bad luck every week. Which is like Ian and Matt Dumsney. They've been like ridiculously fast, and then obviously just had issues. Yeah. So those guys were definitely due for one. They've been real good. And then Michael, obviously, has just been on another level this year. He's been really, really hard to beat. The night I won, he broke. So it feels like you just got to finish. And if you can just be in that like pace that I'm at now and finish races, like, you probably got a good shot of winning in Sydney at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Benny, pick a word. Now, Benny's going to give you a word. I'm going to give you a word. You can only use 3 words answer. Quick, sharp. No sentence to answer to it. Just first thought that comes to your head. All right, Benny, you got a word?
Not yet. Can you go first?
Okay. Sydney International Speedway.
So much potential. Oh, potential.
Oh, there you go. Good.
Is it just one word, or you could say
that
lots
was
of
good.
words?
So much potential. Or potential. That's good. That's good.
Oh, I don't have a word. I've got.
Miss PCR.
Say,
Miss
no,
Parramatta.
it's not that. It's not
Miss
that.
Parramatta.
It's Australian World Series.
I don't know. Dead.
Oh,
They went to get the milk and never came back.
Oi,
I don't know.
he's not wrong, but
Yeah.
all right, I've got another one for you. Rocks.
Rocks.
Yeah, rocks.
My wings this year.
My poor wings. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on, Vinny.
Rocks.
You gotta
That
follow.
sucks. Yeah, better than that.
I was. Yeah. Okay. It's there. It's supposed to be quick for us too. But come on.
Yeah,
Vinny, you gotta
that's
follow.
what. Yeah, he's
Oi.
quick.
Oh, got rocks. You got rocks.
In my head. Yeah.
Larson.
Ooh.
Baby Jesus.
The classic.
I don't know. Classic. I don't know, man. It's good. I don't know, man. I'm not good at this. This isn't really.
This isn't your
Classic.
thing. All right. What about to finish up? All right. Last thing, mate. If there was a track that you could race it every week that wasn't Sydney International, where would it be?
I don't know. Probably Warrnambool, I reckon.
Great answer. Warrnambool or Perth. That's where the big shows are. So you got to pick one.
I did.
I didn't say you didn't. I said you would have to pick one of those. That's what I meant. Jeez, man. Oh, my God. All right, then. To finish off, mate, any sponsors or people you'd like to thank for your season?
Oh yeah, no, of course. It's been a huge season. Everyone's really got behind us this year, and a lot of long time, sponsors every year. They just want to get on board because they love it. So obviously, Fire Service Plus is the big one. It's just a legacy at this point. I don't know if I could ever race and not have Fire Service Plus on the 9. Sander Engineering jumped on board this year, so huge thanks to them. And I didn't bend any wheel halves this year. Every other year I've bent wheel halves, and I didn't bend one this year. I did bend chassis, but not wheel halves.
Yeah.
D1 Speed Indoor Karting, those guys have been behind me for multiple years. And yeah, it's a good place to train and try and do some stuff in the off season. So it's a good time. Mine Main Crane Hire, obviously huge thanks to Matt. They don't get anything out of sponsoring me. They just do it because they love it. That's not one of those business deals or anything like that. They just want to be part of it. So I really appreciate Matt and Sherry getting on board and driving the truck with no experience. Shaving signs, the cars. I think it's the best it's ever looked. Yes, those guys just, whatever I need, they never say no. They just, you broke another wing, no worries, we'll print off more stickers. I think at the start of this year, I said, so I don't have to annoy you during Christmas, maybe just print 5 wings so that I don't have to annoy you during Christmas. So yeah, they've been good. Liquid Clothing, I think our guys look great. They do all our race apparel. Our team always, looks sharp. So thanks to Liquid. Michael Holmes Racing, we get all our parts from him. He's in Perth, so after work you get to the shop, and what speed shop's open at 7:00 at night? None. When you finally know that you need something, but he's in Perth. They're 2 hours behind. I can still ring up and get something in the post. So having him this year has been good. Three Flamingos Espresso, Eliminator Race Wings. Big thanks to Frank, and same thing. Every time I crash a wing, I ring Frank, and he never whinges. He just sends another one, and Frank's been great. He's been on board for a few years now. Now Toyota, of course, helping out every year as they do. Hindmarsh McDonald and Tierney Coatings. So thanks to my buddy Connor for getting behind me this year too.
There you go. Look at you. That was good, mate.
Yeah.
You might have had a list, but we say you did. That was good.
A lisp.
A list.
Oh,
Just-
nah.
No, just all here. I'm just.
How could you prove it?
Yeah.
Watch the
Nah.
replay.
Yeah.
Watch the replay.
All right, mate. Thanks for coming on. It's been awesome, man. Good luck at Liddell. Hey, you know,
Are you heading up? Are you gonna put it up?
Yeah, I think I sent you a text message a few days ago. Lock me
Yeah?
in for Saturday, Sunday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just want you to announce it to the world so that you actually have to go.
I am going. I am going. Yes.
It's
Saturday
public
and
record
Sunday.
now.
Yes.
How about you,
I am.
Benny?
I would have to be, but
What do you mean?
we might be able to get to one day.
Yeah,
I
so
Bring mum. It's a birthday weekend. Woo!
just don't bring your swimmers. Lake Liddell is this racetrack, and it's at it's this big lake, Liddell, right? It's next to this power station, a nuclear. I think it's a nuclear. It might be a coal power station. I don't know much about power, but there's signs around the lake, right, that say you're not allowed to go in the lake because there's brain-eating microbes in the lake. Yeah. So there's this.
The Simpsons.
Yeah. No, 100%. There's a fish there with 3 eyes. So
Oh, we gotta get that
yeah.
on the video. Let's have a swim in here.
yeah, but apparently they're shutting down the power station and the water will go back to normal.
That's a good politic. Oh, you will not eat your brain. Have a swim, please.
Yes, there's like this beautiful caravan park out there that the track's at, and I'm like, why is there no one here? And they're like, yeah, like people used to water ski on the lake, and like now they're not allowed. So they built a
like this.
speedway.
Wow.
Yeah, everyone would come back dumber. So they built a speedway, and now everyone who shows up is just dumb.
Oh, nice.
So
All right, mate.
That's
well,
not.
good
I
luck.
shouldn't be. You know,
No,
that's me.
Who, me?
me?
Yeah. All right, well, good luck, and I hope the schedule for Sydney comes out soon, and we know when you're racing, and if you need to travel, well, you got to travel. We need to see the 9 in action, mate.
Why is there not a calendar? When do they release it?
I haven't seen it yet,
Okay.
Yeah,
so...
not out yet.
Has everyone
Yeah,
else
yeah.
released theirs? I'm not that prepared.
I wouldn't say they've released, but they're on top of it, I reckon.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. Anyway,
Cool.
we'll see. We'll find out. Cheers, bro.
Thanks for having me on.
Cheers.
Benny. Have a
No
good night.
worries.